Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're fine. I'm also okay. I want to revisit a topic, the impeachment of the Kisii deputy governor, Dr. Monda. The reason as to why I'm revisiting this is because I was watching some analysis on why he was actually impeached. You see, Dr. Monda has been friendly to the president. And so the expectation was that when it comes to the Senate, which is dominated by Kenya Kwanza, he was going to be saved. But it wasn't the case. He was overwhelmingly impeached. And the claim by these analysts was suggesting that he was a victim of the handshake. That the president and Raila, now that they are in good working terms, agreed to hang the deputy governor dry. In other words, the president didn't save him as he has saved others. And I took issues with that claim. You see, this particular Senate, in my opinion, has been the most independent Senate when it comes to matters impeachment. This particular one, the one that got into office after the 2022 election. In my opinion, this has been the most independent Senate when it comes to matters impeachment. Maybe other issues of voting and other things, but on issues of impeachment, they have been the most independent. Let me explain why. And that is why I'm revisiting this topic, because the claim was that President Ruto was supposed to save this deputy governor and who was friendly to the government, but he didn't to appease Raila in their new working agreement. I really find that to be far-fetched. And here is why. If you remember the notorious impeachment of Governor Kawira. Kawira Mwangaza comes from Meru. In Meru County, do you know who the majority are? UDA. The others who are coming from Bas are also supporting the president. Kawira, on the other hand, is an independent member, is an independent governor. So here is the question. Kawira was being impeached by UDA or government people. Impeached by people who support President Ruto. In other words, if you are to go with that line of argument, it is President Ruto who was backing this particular impeachment. So how comes the Senate that he controls failed to impeach Kawira on 2 occasions? How comes? It's because the Senate, this particular Senate, I don't want to talk about the Senate during the handshake because that was the example of a controlled Senate. You would be impeached as long as the handshake brothers have agreed that you go home. You will go home. It doesn't matter whether there is merit, there is no merit, you will go home. Here, it doesn't matter who is your godfather or who doesn't like you. You would be impeached on the merit of how you defend yourself. So, Kawira, impeached by UDA people, goes to a Senate that is controlled by UDA people, and she's saved. Is it that UDA does not speak in one term? No. Whatever was brought against Kawira in the Senate was childish at best. And senators did very well to dismiss them with the contempt that was available. Let us take another case. The deputy governor for Siaya was also impeached by a predominantly ODM assembly. Impeached. He comes to a Senate. And the reasons as to why they are impeaching this guy is because he is opposed to how money is being withdrawn from the county's account. And Senate looked at that and said that is stupidity. We cannot endorse that. But the case of Monda was different. Because if you followed the proceedings at Senate, you will agree with me that the lawyers did not do the guy justice, or that he couldn't just defend himself. And this was an emotional case because majority of people are suffering and they have to pay bribes here and there to get a job. And it was a case of extortion amongst family, friends. And that is something that the senators didn't like. And considering the lawyers, if you followed, you can go to YouTube and visit Parliament channel and watch. You will see that the defense that they put there was not enough. I'm not a lawyer, so I won't argue that legally. But even from the perspective of a layman, it was not convincing. And because this is an independent Senate, they impeached him. They agreed with the county assembly. So it was not a case of President Ruto coming in and saying, this is my friend. Because if the Senate was not independent, you would have known it through the impeachment proceeding for Dr. Monda, the former deputy governor for Kisii. Because then the president would have just intervened and said, save him. But no, President Ruto has a way of handling politics. One of the things that he promised he will not do, and he has not done, contrary to what people are saying, is to manipulate the legislature. He can convince the members of parliament from his party. And that is why he holds frequent PGs with them. He can convince them that this is my agenda. This is what I want. This is why I'm bringing this particular bill. But there is no day he's coming there and ordering them to vote otherwise. No. You can even refer to the issue of housing. So the court says it is illegal unless you do 1, 2, 3. He calls these people, he explains to them, they come up with the law, they pass it. So it is based on explanation. It is not dictating to the National Assembly. And that is something that even the people in opposition will agree with. It's not dictating to the National Assembly on what to do. If it was, then everything that I've just told you, if UDA was to impeach somebody, you go to Senate, you are impeached. No, it's letting them make their decision. That is what we call respecting the separation of power. That is what President Ruto has done. And that is what our Senate has done when it comes to independence in terms of dealing with impeachment cases. It has been the most independent body I've ever seen. Let me know if you agree with this, but I just wanted to clarify that the deputy governor was not impeached because it was a deal to sacrifice him, as others allege. No. He didn't win the hearts of the senators through his lawyers or through his own testimony. The other team was a little bit stronger and organized. And in a court of law, which Parliament was acting as then, those who argue better win. Anyway, let me know what your opinion on that is. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, also let me know through the comments. Otherwise, thank you.